Make the ground shake.
Hey guys, what is going on? My name is Gummy. Today we are back once again for another Fortnite Creative tutorial. Today, rather than doing the usual house tutorials, city builds, we are going to be doing a statue build. So this is one of the first actual things I built in Fortnite Creative, and I've gone back and since updated it with all the new different colours, and this is going to be a llama statue. So again, a really relevant build for all you guys making themed maps. Again, hopefully you do enjoy it, and I've been seeing a ton of people suggesting it, so please, if you have any ideas, please suggest them in the comment section below. That's how I base it on what I'm going to be doing in the future in terms of the content on the channel. Without further ado, let's get straight into the tutorial. So in total, these are all the colours you are going to need to build it. However, I appreciate this is somewhat confusing, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the grid over here and list off the varying colours and their positions on the grid. In terms of the actual gallery itself, you want the cube gallery, so that is found under the gallery section. Scroll down and you want the smaller version rather than the large version. So this one here, we're only going to be dealing with the actual colours, so you can get rid of the reflective blocks, the light blocks, all that good stuff, and you'll be left with this grid here. So let's go through the various colours you'll need. The first one is going to be row 1, block 1, and it's going to be this white block right here. The next block is going to be row 1, block 7, and it's going to be this kind of light grey / creamy brown colour. Next one is going to be second row, third block. It's going to be the light blue, this one right here. The next one is going to be second row, fourth block, and it's going to be this light pink / magenta. The next block is going to be row 2, last block, and it's going to be, again, the kind of greyish brown colour. The next block is going to be row 3, block 1, this grey colour. Next one is going to be row 3, block 3, and it's going to be this slightly darker blue, so directly underneath the previous blue. Next block is the block next door, so that's row 3, block 4, again a magenta colour. Next one is the final block on row 3, once again a kind of brownish colour, so we're working our way down this gradient. The next row, row 4, block 3, we're going to be using this dark blue. The next row, we're going to come to block 4, and it's going to be this purple block. And then the final row, we're going to come to the first block and grab this black block. So once you've got all of them, it should look something like this. Feel free to line them all up in a row. And again, you are now ready to build. So without further ado, let's get straight into the tutorial. Just before the video starts, I want to do a quick little plug. If you do enjoy my content and want to support the channel, please consider using my support a creator code in the Fortnite item store. That is GUMMMYYY, so Gummy with 3 M's and 3 Y's. This applies to all purchases on the item store. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and it helps me create more regular content for you guys to hopefully enjoy. So to start off the build, what we're going to do, and I've already done this, is we're going to lay out where the legs are going to be placed. So in total, there's going to be 4 legs, obviously. Each leg is going to be 11 blocks tall, 3 blocks wide, and 3 blocks thick. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with our black block. Now you want to bear in mind, you want drops to be off, and you want grid snap to be on 8. So that is 2 very important things to consider before placing them. So drops off and grid snap on 8. If you don't do that, your life is going to be a lot more difficult, and this isn't going to be much fun for you. So in terms of the first one, we're going to find a nice empty area, and we're going to place a 3x3 square of these black blocks. So again, that's 3 tall by 3 wide, and you fill it in solid. What we're then going to do is we're going to leave a 4 block gap, and then we're going to place another one. So when I say 4 block gap, let me get a different colour, just so it's a bit more obvious. You can see here that it's literally, you'll just grab a block of a different colour, place 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then go ahead and place the other one. So that's how you do that. So again, 4 block gap, and that's the same for the rear legs as well. There is once again a 4 block gap. Now the gap between the front and the rear is 9 blocks. So again, I won't place them all down just because it will take some time, but it's going to be a 9 block gap in between here. So again, 4 block gap and a 9 block gap. And once you got that, it ends up looking something like this. So you have 4 different legs or 4 different feet, and from each one, we're then going to build up. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off on any of the legs. It doesn't really matter, they're all going to be the same. we're going to start off by grabbing ourselves the black block, and we're going to build up 1, 2, and we're going to do this all the way around. Now this can be really tricky, purely because it's kind of difficult to see the outline of the block and establish where you're actually placing it, just because the block doesn't actually have an outline. So it may take a bit of guessing, but you can see here it's not too difficult. So just a little bit of guessing, a little bit of luck, and you'll be more than fine. So what you'll then have is something that's 3 tall, 3 wide, and 3 thick. Now on top of this, we are going to grab ourselves the darkest blue we've grabbed, so this one right here. And on top of this, we're going to place 8 layers of this blue. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now you're going to build this all the way around, so you go all the way around the perimeter. You don't have to fill in the middle bit. Reason being is because, of course, it's not going to be visible. However, at the top, feel free to fill in the top middle bit just to kind of wrap it all off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this off camera. Of course, you repeat this for each of the legs. So again, just to recap whilst I'm here, the first 3 layers is going to be black blocks, and then the next 8 layers is going to be blue. Now again, it's going to take a bit of time. The blocks can be a bit fiddly, but it should be easy enough, again, if you just take it slow and make sure you're doing it correctly. If you have any issues with the blocks overlapping, just feel free to change the grid snap. So just reset it, turn it off, put it back on 8, and it should be fine. As long as you're working on 8, your life's going to be a lot easier. If you're on 4, again, it's quite easy, but it's quite restrictive. So best to go with 8, in my opinion. But anyways, as I said, I'm going to cut the video here. I'll be back in a second once all the legs are complete. Okay, so as you can see, I've gone ahead and completed all the legs. As I mentioned before, they are 11 blocks tall, 3 blocks wide, and 3 blocks thick, and of course there is 4 in total. So you should have something that looks like this. That is the legs complete, and now what we can do is we can start working on the body. Before we start working on the body, we want to establish which side is the front side. I'm going to do that just by placing a white block on the floor at the front side of the statue. So this is going to be the front side. Of course, the other side will be the rear. Now this is important because the pattern is different on the front and the back. So you want to consider that first and make sure you know which side is going to be which. So starting off now, what we are going to do is we are going to grab ourselves this middle pink colour. So you can see here we've got a light pink, almost like a magenta colour, and then purple. We want to grab ourselves the magenta colour. What we're going to do is come to the side of the front leg, doesn't matter what side at this point, and on the first block, diagonal, we are going to place one of these magenta blocks. As you can see, the first front corner block of this blue, you go up diagonal and you place 1 magenta. To the right of this, we're going to do the exact same. And then to the right of that, we're going to place 1 purple. Now, we'll get to the other side in a second. For now, we're just going to lay out the perimeter of this side. So continuing with that theme, we are going to grab the purple, and we're going to go 2 to the left. So 1, whoops, that is not how we want to be placing it. And 2, and again, these can be a bit fiddly for some reason. And then we're going to extend it 1 block further to the left, using our kind of pinkish magenta. I'm just going to refer to it as magenta for this video. So you can see it now looks something like this. Continuing, what we're going to do is towards the right side, that's the front part complete. Going towards the right side, we are going to place 1 purple. We're then going to place 2 of our magenta, 2 purple, and after that, you guessed it, 2 magenta, and I'm building slower than I'm speaking, 2 purple, whoops, and you may encounter this issue where the blocks are a bit kind of glitchy for some reason. You guessed it, again 2 magenta, and then finally we're going to place 2 purple. So in terms of the overhangs, it overhangs the rear of the statue by 1 block, and it overhangs the front by 3. That's intentional, and it should end up looking something like this. Now again, in terms of the colours, again, you can swap it if you want to, with the slightly lighter colours, as I mentioned before. But this is the first layer, so if you want to make this the lighter pink, and you can swap this to magenta, and then use the even lighter pink, that's up to you. But again, this is the first layer pattern. Now we're going to repeat this on the other side, but first we're going to start building up this side, and then we're just going to repeat it on the other side. So, in terms of starting from the left, we're going to grab ourselves one of the light pink, so the lightest pink you have, and we're going to place one of them. We're then going to place 2 magenta, 2 of our light pink, 2 magenta, and we're going to repeat this all the way across. So again, it's going to go 2 pink, 2 magenta, 2 pink, 2 magenta, all the way until the end. And it should line up, so let's just do it like this, perfectly. And as you can see, it's pretty just easier to put all of the same colour down first, and then go back and add the other colours afterwards. So once you've done that, it ends up looking like this. That is the second layer, and again, just like the first, it's going to be 19 blocks wide. For the third layer now, we are going to grab ourselves one of our pinks, so the lightest pink, and we're going to place a solid row of 19 of these blocks. So this is pretty tedious, but at the same time, very, very easy. And it's just a case of a solid row of our lightest pink block. So again, that's 19 of our pink. For the next layer, the fourth layer, again, just to clarify, there's 13 layers, so we're making decent progress. Fourth layer is going to be 1 of our magentas, 2 of our light pinks. We're then going to grab ourselves the middle blue block. So not the light blue, not the dark blue, the middle one. So we grab the middle blue block, as mentioned before. We are going to place 2 of them. We're then going to place 2 of our light pinks, 2 of the light blues, and we're going to do that all the way until the end. So once again, it's probably easier just to place 2 light blue, leave a 2 block gap, go back afterwards and place the pink. Apologies, by the way, if the lighting seems a bit weird. I actually have it set on midday, but for some reason, like the lighting still seems a bit like funky. I don't know if that's like a bug, but it seems a lot darker than it should naturally be at this time, if that makes sense. So apologies if that's showing in the video. Unfortunately, not much I can do about it. So that is that layer complete. That's the fourth layer. For the fifth layer now, we are going to get the darkest blue, so this one here. And we're going to start off by placing 1 of them. We're then going to place 2 of our middle blue. We're then going to place 2 of our dark blue, 2 of our middle blue, 2 of our dark blue, and just like before, we do this all the way until the end of the row. So that's the dark blue done. We go back and we do the middle ones. And also another thing I guess I'll mention is that this will look different based on what platform you're on. I noticed that just building this now, that on Xbox, or console should I say, the pattern of the lighter blue is very similar to the darker one. I don't know if, again, that's just lighting, my monitor being funny, I'm not sure, but you can see it's quite similar. Whereas on PC, it's a lot more distinguished. So again, if you want to change it up, you're a bit limited with the blues because there is only 4, but you can play around with that if you want to. So that is the fifth layer. For the next layer, which is going to be the sixth layer, we are going to grab ourselves the lightest blue we have, which is this one. We're going to place 1 of them. We're then going to place 2 of our dark blue, 2 of our light blue, and again we repeat this same pattern. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to change the time to, let's say, 2 PM, and we'll just see if that changes any of the lighting. So all the way to the end, and again fill in the gaps with the dark blue, and that's going to be, I believe, our 6th layer. So if I back up, don't want to place it there. Place it right there. And as you can see, again, that is our 6th layer. For the next layer, the 7th layer, and again, please feel free to pause at any point. As I said before, it's 19 wide, so you should easily be able to establish which one is which. So for the next layer, we are going to grab ourselves the middle blue. We're going to place 1 of our middle blue. We're going to place 2 of our light blue. And once again, we rinse and repeat. So we have 2 of the middle blue, 2 of the lighter, and we do this all the way until the end. And what you'll notice is it kind of has that pattern that we're going for where the llama has it, where it's almost like a gradient between the various colours of blue, pink, and a few other kind of shades thrown in for good measure. So once I place this block there, being a bit tricky, that is the 7th layer complete. Once again, if you want to pause, please feel free to do so. So the next layer, the 8th layer, we're going to start off with 1 light blue. So 1 light blue. We are then going to place 2 of the middle blue. We're then going to grab ourselves the lightest pink. And we're going to place 2 of our light pink. And then we repeat this pattern of 2 middle blue, 2 light pink, 2 middle blue. So we do that all the way again until the end. So let me fill in the blue. Once again, this is the middle one, so not the dark, not the light. And if you have this problem, which I'm having quite a lot for some reason, you can often just push the block away. Based on what platform you're on, that will vary. Of course, on Xbox it's with the D-pad. I believe on PC it's with F. I may be mistaken. So that is that row. Again, if you want to pause, please do so. The next layer is going to consist of 1 of our magenta blocks. So again, we start off with 1 magenta block. We're then going to grab our light pink, and we're going to place 2 light pink. We're then going to grab our darkest blue, and we're going to place 2 dark blue, 2 of the light pink, and then we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 dark blue, and 2 light pink. So again, just to repeat that, that is 10 dark blue and 2 of the light pink. The next layer, again nice and simple, is going to be 1 of our light pink. Then we're going to grab ourselves the dark blue, and we're going to do 18 dark blue. So essentially a solid layer of the dark blue blocks, just with the exception of the first block, which as mentioned before, is light pink. So 1 light pink, 18 dark blue. Once again, ends up looking something like this. Next layer, very, very similar, is going to be 18 dark blue again. This time, the final block is going to be the one that is the empty one. So, or the changed one, should I say, not empty. So we do 18 of the dark blue. And then for the final block, we're going to grab ourselves the middle blue. So this one here. And we're going to place 1 of them. So final block, block number 19, if I can place it correctly, is going to be the slightly lighter blue. Now for the next layer, the 12th layer, second to last layer, we're going to start off on the left side with 1 middle blue. We're then going to grab ourselves the light blue, and we're going to place 2 of them. We're then going to place 2 of our dark blues, 2 of our light blue. Then what we're going to do is we're going to head over to the right side. So on the right side, starting off, we're going to place 1 of our middle blues. We're then going to place, going towards the left, 2 light blue. And then in the remaining gap, we're just going to fill it in with the dark blue. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So again, that is layer number 12, second to last layer. For the final layer now, we are going to place on the left side 1 of the middle blue. We are then going to place 17 light blue. So that is all but the first and final block of this row is going to be made out of the light blue block. So again, just try and position to the point where it will allow me to place it easier. So again, final block is going to be out of the middle blue. And once you've done that, it should look something like this. So that is the finished side without the kind of little 3D effect. So right now, that should be 13 tall, 19 wide. Again, I'll try and give you as many different angles as possible without my skin being in the way, just so you can pause if necessary. So in terms of 3D effect, we'll get this out the way nice and quick. We are going to grab ourselves the darkest of the browns that we have. So this one right here. We're then going to come up to the middle of the top, and where we have this 2 light blue, so the second part, we are going to go to the right. So this first dark blue in front of it, we're going to place 1 of these browns. On top of this, we're going to place another one, and we're going to go down 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So in total, that is now 8 blocks tall. So again, 8 blocks tall, and that is going to be the left side of this almost harness, I want to call it, but the thing that you would sit on if you really, for some reason, wanted to sit on a llama. So, from here, we're going to go 7 blocks to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we're going to build up to the top. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now, in this area here, we're going to go ahead and fill it all in with the light colour, so the lightest of the browns. And again, that's just row by row, filling it all in solid 1 colour. So try not to do what I did there, which is mess it up. If you do have an issue where you're placing half ones like that, just fill it all in. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't glitch it out. The only thing it might cause is once we're punching out blocks of detail, you might have to punch out a few more and replace them. So just bear that in mind, consider it, but it's not too much of an issue. Once you've done it, which I have almost 1 more row to go, I believe, after this one, we're going to add the little pattern. It's almost like a chest that's on the side of the llama's saddle. So as you can see, it should currently look something like this. Again, colours will vary. On PC, it looks drastically different, or at least what I am looking at looks drastically different in terms of colour, but it still looks just as good, so it's fine. Now, in terms of detailing, we're going to grab ourselves the grey block. On top of the second block, the first one of the lighter colour, we're going to place 1, 2. We're then going to leave a 2 block gap, and we're going to place 1, 2 of, again, grey. That's going to link up to the top. In terms of detailing of the chest, we're going to come to the second row, second block of the area here, the lighter colour, and we're going to punch out 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're then going to punch up 1, 2, 3. Same on the left side, 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to go in diagonal on either side. In the middle, so we have this 3 block island, I guess you would call it. We're going to punch out 2, and it gives you a shape that looks like this. In that area, go ahead and fill it all in using black, and that's going to be the detailing on the saddle. So, as I said, we are going to fill it all in, and once you've done that, that will be the side of the llama complete, or at least one side complete. So, just the final block, there we go. That's what it will end up looking like, and as I said, that is this side of the build complete. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run you through the other side briefly in terms of the bottom layer, and then we're going to skip forwards and you essentially just have to repeat everything I've done. Now, that might sound difficult, but what you have got to consider is if you come around to this side, come to the front block, forwards one, we place the one magenta, and just like we did on the other side, we're going to place to the right of it, 2 purple, 1 magenta, and then to the left, we do our pattern. So 1 magenta, 2 purple, 1, 2 of our magenta. Let me just fix that real quick. 2 of our purple, 2 of our magenta, 2 purple, 2 magenta, and then finally, whoops, we do not want to do that. Finally, after that, we're going to place 2 more purple, and of course we're going to have the 1 block overhang. Now, in terms of what I mean by I'm just going to pause and skip forwards in the video, you literally just need to copy what you see in front of you. So you can see here, the second row on that side is 1 pink, 2 magenta, 2 pink. You just copy this exact same thing. So what you see in front of you is what you're going to build. So just copy that. It's easy enough. And it saves me spending another 20 minutes in the video going step by step, row by row. Once you've done that, I'm going to, as I said, come back and we're going to link everything together with the underside, the front, the rear, and the top. So again, going to pause here and I'll be back once it's done. Okay, so I'm back and you can see what I've gone ahead and done is replicated exactly what we did on the other side, on the left side of the build. So now, what you should have is 2 identical sides spaced precisely like this, so 1 to the left and also 1 to the right. Now, the next step in this video, on the basis you do have this, and again, please make sure you have this right, otherwise you're just prolonging the issue. So again, if you are struggling with this, go back in the video, see where things haven't gone quite to plan. As I mentioned before, this is literally just an exact copy of the other side. So even if you have to watch that part again, feel free to do that. It's a lot easier than messing it up and having to destroy it later on. So if you have got this and it's looking perfect, great. What we're going to do now is start linking them together, as I mentioned before. So we're going to start off at the bottom left corner next to this magenta here, and we're going to build from the left side right on over to the side over here. So starting off, we are going to place 1 purple. We are then going to grab ourselves our magenta, and we are going to place 2 magenta, so 1, 2. We're then going to place 1 purple, 2 magenta, followed by 1 purple, and then finally, again, 2 magenta and 1 purple. So that's going to link the left side to the right side. So that is the front, again, marked out by the white block. In terms of the rear side, what we are going to do is we're actually going to expand it outwards. So we head round to the rear side. We're going to grab ourselves our magenta. And rather than building from side to side, what we're actually going to do is we're going to go out diagonal from this purple block. So again, you come up to the side and then just go 1 diagonal. So diagonal from the purple, we're going to place 2 magenta. So 1, 2. We're then going to place 2 purple, 2 magenta, 2 purple, and then followed by, you probably guessed it, 2 magenta. And once again, that should link up diagonally, and from above, it should currently look something like this. So in this whole area here, we're going to be filling in the underside of the llama. The way we are going to do this is as following. So we're going to head to the front side. With these 2 purples in the middle, we're going to expand it backwards 1 block and over to the right 3 to give us a shape that looks like this. In the 2 center blocks, we're then going to expand all the way to the rear side of the build. So we build all the way across. Again, try to keep them on the grid. If it does mess up, it's not the end of the world. So expand it all the way backwards until we hit the magenta at the back wall. And for some reason, this is being a bit weird off grid. Can we do it? There we go. So all the way back, and it will link up like so. Exact same for this second layer, so we just build all the way back to the front, and then we're going to have this central beam going through the middle. Now this is going to be the center point. From here we're going to expand out either way, and that's how our pattern is going to be formed. The pattern is going to be a checkered pattern, whilst it doesn't really matter because you won't naturally see most of it because it is going to be on the underside of the statue. I wanted to make sure again that it was still detailed, so that's why we're doing this. In terms of the rear side, what we're also going to do is go one to the left and one to the right, just to link it to the purple at the back. So from above, it should currently look like this. Now, as I mentioned, from here we're going to start forming the pattern. So behind this purple here, we're going to grab our magenta, and we're going to place 2 magenta. We're then going to follow that with 2 purple, followed by 2 magenta, followed by 2 purple. Whoops, that's slightly misplaced. Followed by, again, 2 magenta. And we're going to do this all the way until we hit the rear side of the build. Once we've got that, that's going to be the grid pattern we're going to be working with. So again, once you hit that, it ends up looking something like this. From here, we're then going to start doing a checkerboard pattern. So what do I mean by this? Well, put simply, next to the magenta, we put purple, and next to the purple, we put magenta. So again, you just go side to side and put purple next to the magenta, and magenta next to the purple. So you can see here, I'm doing the purple first. Feel free, if you want to, just keep the pattern going to delete that one, and then you can just put a purple there, and then same applies for magenta in all the gaps. And we're essentially going to do this now all the way until the edge. Now what you'll notice is if you've done it correctly, it should be very close to matching up. So if you come around to the side, again, you put magenta next to the purple, and then purple next to the magenta. You'll see here that it should link up half with the magenta, half with the purple. So if you got it looking like that, then it's great. And from above, you'll have a pattern that looks like this. Now once again, it's a bit fiddly, and I'm going to go ahead and do it off camera, just to keep the video nice and short, but the logic is simple. Again, purple next to magenta, next to the purple beam running straight through the middle. So again, going to pause here, and we'll quickly fill it in. Okay, so as you can see, I've gone ahead and filled that all in, and you'll end up having a pattern which looks something like this. Now, as I said before, there are a few exceptions to this rule of the 2 next to 2 pattern. So at the front, it's pretty much a free-for-all. You can change it as you want. The way I've done it is by having 2 right-angled magenta colours and then 2 singular purples. And then at the rear side, slightly different. I've got a longer stretch, almost like a P shape and a Q shape of the magentas, and then the right angles of the purples. So again, you can adapt it as you want. It doesn't really matter too much because once again, it's not going to be majorly visible unless you're underneath, I was about to say underside of the statue, underneath the statue, and visibly looking at the underside of it. So yeah, that is the base complete. That links everything from the left side to the right side. Now what we're going to start focusing on is actually building up the front and the rear, and essentially wrapping up the body. So let's start off with the front side. We're going to get that out the way. If I can speak properly, that would be amazing. So starting on the second row on the left side, we are going to place one of our light pinks, and we're going to do the exact same on the right side. So once again, one on the left, one on the right. What we're then going to do is jump straight up to the top left corner, and next to the top left corner, we're going to place one light blue, and we do the exact same to the left of the top right corner. So we've got one block in the top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right. The reason that's important is because we're actually now going to start building 3D, so we don't need to worry about this section. So in terms of the 3D, we're going to start off next to this pink block here, so build in front of it and to the right. From here, we're going to place 2 purple. We're then going to place one of our magentas, 2 purple, 1 magenta, and 2 purple. So, if I can place it, for some reason the placing's being really off today. It's a bit weird. You can see that it now outstretches the front, or out extends the front, and we're going to bridge up and essentially cover everything that is missing. So starting with the second layer now, directly diagonal upwards from the light pink, we're going to place a row of 1, 2, 3. I'm going to actually build from right side because it's appearing to be easier. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So 10 magenta. It overextends 1 to the left and 1 to the right. Starting on the right side again, just because it seems to be easier in terms of placement, we're going to grab ourselves the dark blue. We're going to place 1 dark blue, 2 of the magentas. So again, that's 2 magenta. We're then going to grab 1 dark blue, 2 more magentas, 1 dark blue. Let me just get the magentas down. 2 magentas, and again 1 of our dark blues. So that is layer number 3. For layer number 4, we are going to grab ourselves the middle blue, so not the light, not the dark, but the middle one. We're going to place 1 of them. Next to that, we're going to place 2 of our dark blue. We're then going to place 1 of the middle blue, 2 of the dark. Whoops. Placement really not doing me any favours today. 1 of the middle ones, 2 of the dark ones. So again, that's 1 and 2. And then finally, 1 of the middle blue ones. So that is layer number 4. Once again, feel free to pause after every single layer just to make sure you're doing it correctly. If you don't want to, again, that's up to you. For the next layer, we're going to grab ourselves the light blue, and we are going to do the same alternating pattern. So we're going to go 1 light blue, 2 middle, 1 light, 2 middle. So again, just do on top of all the middle ones from the previous layer, place a light blue, and on top of all the dark blues, place a middle blue. So that is probably the easiest way of approaching this. Not that there is an easy way with the block placement being the way it is right now, for whatever reason. So that is that layer, that is the 5th layer. On top of this, for the next layer, on top of all the previous middle blues, we're going to place a light blue. So all the 2 long sections. And on top of all the previous light blues, we're going to grab the middle blues, and we're going to do it all the way across. So on top of all the singles and all the doubles. So it's just layering on top of layers. Almost like a cake, but blue. And yeah, I don't know where I'm going with that. So yeah, that is that layer. The next layer is going to be magenta. So on top of your middle blues, we're going to do a lovely layer of magenta. So again, that is on top of the solo blocks and on top of the double blocks. And this is all out of magenta, the middle pink. So not the light pink, but not quite the purple. On top of this, we're going to grab ourselves the light pink, and we're going to do the exact same. So just a simple layer of the light pink block all the way across. And then on top of that, we're going to rinse and repeat, just with a different colour. So this is, I guess, the more simplistic way of doing it, the faster, more efficient way of doing it than building layer by layer. So again, that is that layer out of the light pink. On top of this, we are going to do dark blue. So we're going to do a layer of dark blue. And this is the final layer where we can work with this pattern, because after this, it changes up a bit, and we're going to have to be a bit more careful where we place blocks. So again, 1 more layer of dark blue, and then we are going to have to do it layer by layer again. So, as you can see, once I back up, it should currently look like this. You're currently 2 layers away from the top. What we're going to do is, on this layer here, in each of the 1 block gaps, we're going to get our middle blue, and we're going to fill it all in, but we're not going to build on the layer on top. So we're just filling in the gaps for now, like so. And Then what we're going to do is on top of the left and the right, the dark blues, so the two wide sections, we're going to build up and turn the two wide section into a 2x2 section. So you now have, again, on the left side and the right side, a 2 tall section of the dark blue. Continuing on the left, we're going to place one light blue in that gap there, just to fill it in. We're going to do the exact same on the right side at the front right corner. Above this 2 dark blue here, in the middle, we're going to place 2 of the middle blue. And then in the remaining gaps, we're going to place a light blue. So 1 there, and 1 there. For the final layer, or final proper layer, I guess you could say, we're going to leave 1 block. We're then going to place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 of the light blues. Then on top of that, we're also going to leave 1 block again, and we're going to place 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And once again, there'll be a 1 block gap on the right side. Once you've done that, it looks something like this. So again, if you want to pause, please feel free to do so. Now is a good opportunity. I'll just zoom in as much as possible without my character being in the way. And then we can get straight into working on the rear side of the body. So let's head round to the rear side. Where we left off, we have this platform, which consists of 2 magenta, 2 purple, 2 magenta, 2 purple, and 2 magenta. On top of this, starting from the right side, just again because it's easier to build from for whatever reason, we're going to place 2 light pink. We're then going to place 2 of our magenta, 2 light pink, 2 magenta, and 2 light pink. So that is layer number 2. Layer number 3, nice and easy, is going to be solid row of pink. So again, we just build all the way across 10 using the light pink block. On top of this, we are going to grab ourselves the middle blue, and we're going to place 2 of our middle blue. We're then going to place 2 of our light pink, 2 middle blue, and 2 light pink, and then 2 middle blue. So again, place all the blue first, go back and add the pink after. It's probably the easiest approach. On top of the pink, we are going to place middle blue, and then we're going to get into the layering system we worked on with the other side. So currently, should look like this. So on top of all the middle blue blocks, we are going to place dark blue. So the next layer is, as I said, going to be dark blue. So that's a solid layer all the way across using the dark blue block. On top of that, we're going to grab ourselves the light blue block. So the next layer, again, all the way across, it's going to be the light blue block. So once again, the next layer is light blue. So again, after every single layer, I'll back up, just give you an opportunity to pause the video if you need to do so. Again, please do take your time when working on this. So for the next layer, we're going to grab ourselves the middle blue. So again, on top of the light blue, we're going to be doing another layer of the middle blue. And again, it's the same process, just layering it up layer by layer, working our way towards the top of the rear side. On top of that layer, we are going to be using our light pink. So the next layer is going to be light pink. Again, same procedure, this time using light pink. The next layer is going to be out of blue. So we are going to layer it up using blue, the dark one, to be more specific. However, once we've done this, we're going to do something slightly different for the next 2 layers. So, in all the gaps on this layer here, we're also going to fill it in with dark blue. And what we're also going to do is add another layer of solid dark blue. So that will bring you 2 layers away from the top. And it will currently look like this. So for the second to last layer, starting on the left side, we'll place 2 dark blue. We're then going to grab ourselves a light blue, And we're going to place 1 light blue, 2 dark blue, 1 light blue, 2 oh sorry, I've done it slightly wrong. Take that back, I take it back. We're going to place 1 of our middle blue, and then we're going to start that pattern. So 2 dark blue, 1 light blue, 2 dark blue, whoops, followed by a light blue, followed by 2 dark blue, and 1 middle blue. There we go. So again, apologies about that. Don't know why I forgot to place that first one there. And then on top of that, we're going to do something nice and simple. Just place 1 of our middle blues, 8 of our light blues, and then we're going to place 1 middle blue to wrap it up at the edge. So once you've done that, it looks something like this. That is the rear side of the llama butt, I guess you could say. And yeah, with that, we're now ready to add the tail. So the next step being the tail, pretty simple. We're going to start off with our light pink. We come to the top left corner. We're then going to go down diagonal 1 block, and we're going to place 1 light pink. From here, we are going to go down diagonal to the right. So at the corners, we'll link up like so. We're then going to go down diagonal, downwards, down 1 block, and then down diagonal to the left. Whoops. Make sure they do indeed link up, like so. And that's going to be the first stage. This is the light pink stage. The second stage is going to be out of light blue. We are going to come to the third block of light blue at the top, and we're going to place 1 light blue. So there should be a 1 block gap between the pink and the light blue. From this light blue here, make sure it's not in the build, like that is. We want to go down diagonal to the right. We're then going to go down diagonal again, down diagonal a third time, and then we're going to go down once, twice, to the left, and down. And it gives you a shape like that. So if you come around to the right side, it should currently look something like this. The next layer is going to be out of purple. So grab yourselves a purple block. We're going to come to the row directly to the right of this light blue, and we're going to start off by going down 1 block. First block is going to be placed right there. From here, we're going to go to the right and down 1 and place a block. From this block, we're going to go forwards 1. We're then going to go down 1, 2, forwards 1, and down 1. So again, from the side, should look like this. And then for the, I guess, final 2, we're going to first off grab magenta. We're going to start off diagonal upwards from the purple. So we place 1 magenta. We're then going to go down diagonal. So it should be directly above the purple. And then we're going to go down diagonal to right. So it will link up in the corner. Now again, the placement is being absolutely horrific today for some reason. There we go. So it links in the corner, and it will end up looking like this. And then the final one, which is going to consist of 2 blocks, is going to be out of light pink, directly to the right. Or from here, actually, we'll go down diagonal as well, once more, with the magenta, right there. And to the right of that magenta, we're going to place 1 light pink, and we go up diagonal and link it back towards the body. And once you've done that, that is the tail of the llama complete. Again, it's a bit of a crazy mess, but that is, I guess, half the point. So again, feel free to pause at any point, trying to do a few different angles, just to make it as easy as possible. And now, what we're going to work on is the top side of the body, and then we're ready to move on to the head. So in terms of the top side of the body, we're going to do this in 2 separate parts. First part is going to be the saddle, and then the second part is going to be the rear back. So, in terms of the first part, the saddle, what we're going to do is, in line with the saddles on either side, we're going to do a solid row of 8 of the dark brown. And we're going to do this on both sides. So this is in line with the existing saddles, or the hang downs of the saddles on either side. Try not to mess up the placement. As I said, apologies. Try my best today, but it's not showing me much love in terms of actually allowing me to place blocks properly. So there we go. From here, what we're going to do is, on either side, we're going to build inwards, 1, 2. So exact same on this side, 1, 2. And then we're going to start forming the pattern. So we do the exact same on this one, 1, 2, and 1, 2. So you've built in either side. What we're then going to do is get the middle colour, or the middle brown, and on either side we're going to place one of them. So 1, 1, 1, and 1. So from above should look something like this. What we're then going to do is build all of them in, one to the middle. So that is 1, 1, 1, and 1. So again, currently looking like this. The next step is to build them outwards diagonal. So stand at the edge of the llama, facing towards the other side. We're going to go diagonal, and we're going to place 1, 2, 3, 4. Exact same on this side. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4. And in each of these sections, either side, we're going to fill it in with the darker brown. So the darker brown variant. Once again, this can be a bit tricky because we are placing downwards. It's a bit hit or miss whether it wants to actually let you place it or not, as you can see right there. So be patient with it, and hopefully you'll be successful. But again, it does require a bit more luck than it does skill. So again, with this side, just fill it in solid using the dark brown. And once we've done that, we have both the left side and the right side. And it definitely feels like it's getting darker and brighter. I'm not sure why that is, if that's a bug or not. So that is the edges of the saddle. What we're going to do is we're going to link either side in the middle by placing on the edge 1, 2, 3, 4 in the middle, as I said, with the darker brown. And then on the other side, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And in this middle section, we're going to fill it in with the lighter of the browns. Now, I'm going to do this off camera because, again, it will take a minute or two. So just save some time there. What I'm also going to do is grab myself a purple, and we're going to place a purple either side, just in front of the saddle, next to the light blues. The remaining part of this area doesn't need to be filled in. I'm going to fill it in off camera, but it doesn't need to be filled in because the head is going to cover it up. I'm just going to fill it in just so it's easier to build on top of. Once again, this is going to be out of the lighter brown. And then that brings us to the next part, which is this rear part here. The way we're going to do this is row by row. So we're going to start off with the row nearest to the saddle and work our way towards the butt. So we're going to grab ourselves the middle blue, and to the right of that light blue there, we're going to place one middle blue. We are then going to place one of our darker blues. So one dark blue. We're then going to place one of our middle blues. We're then going to grab a magenta. So we place one magenta, two of our pinks, followed by a magenta, followed by a middle blue, a dark blue, and a middle blue. So that is going to be the first row. The next row is going to consist of one light blue, one middle blue. For some reason, again, placement not helping me out too much today. It's not necessarily the placement, it's more just the aspect that it's looking different to where it's actually placing. Hopefully that makes sense. So apologies if I'm low-key raging. I'm trying not to. The next block is going to be one dark blue, followed by a middle blue, followed by two magenta, followed by middle blue, dark blue, middle blue, and a light blue. So that is the second row. For the third row now, we're going to place one middle blue, one light blue, a middle blue, a dark blue, two middle blue, a dark blue, a middle blue, a light blue, and a middle blue. And that is the second to last layer. And then for the final layer, we're going to place, and again, this can be a bit tricky just because of the positioning of it. So we're going to place one light blue. We're then going to place a middle blue, a light blue, one middle, then followed by two of our dark blue, followed by a middle, one light, one middle, and then finally one light. And once you have done that, it will look something like this. So again, if you have that pattern, done it correct, well done. And as I said, what I'm going to do now, quickly, is fill in this section here with the light brown, fill in this section with the light blue, once again, not compulsory, and then we're ready to move on to the final stage of the build, which is the head. So again, gonna be right back, and hopefully have some progress. Okay, so as you can see, I've gone ahead and filled that all in, so the light blue, as well as the lighter of the, what would you call it, the saddle, the lighter brown of the saddle. So yeah, that is the top of the statue complete. That's the body of the statue complete. So that now leaves us with one final task, and that is of course the head. Now the head, whilst it's not necessarily difficult, again maybe a bit time consuming, I'm going to run through it section by section, and we're going to start off with the front. So starting off, we have this row here with one middle blue, one light blue. On top of the light blue, we are going to place one light blue, we're going to go to the right one, and up one. We do the exact same on the right side, so on the second block, up, to the left, and up, and you'll end up having something that looks like this. In between the left side and the right side here, we're going to place one of our middle blues. We're then going to grab ourselves the pink, and we're going to place one light pink, two of the light blue, one of the light pinks, and then one of the middle blues. So it ends up looking like this. On top of that, we are going to place a layer of two of the middle blues. We're then going to grab our magenta, and we're going to place four of our magenta blocks, and then we're going to place again two of the middle blues. So that is the second layer. For the third layer, we're going to place one of the middle blues, one pink, four magenta. I'm just going to do it from the right side because it seems to be easier. So four magenta, one pink, and one middle blue. So that is our third layer. For the fourth layer, we're going to place two magenta, So again, that's 2 magenta, followed by 4 light pink, and 2 magenta. Now, in front of the light pink, we're actually going to bring it forwards a layer. So we're going to place a row of 4 light pink in front of the existing 4 light pink, and it ends up looking like this. And what that's going to do is form the underside of the chin of the llama. From there, what we're going to do is above it, we're going to place a row of 4 magenta. We're then going to expand 1 to the right and 1 to the left. So we have a row of 6 magenta. What we're then going to do is expand that magenta row 1 block forwards. So again, we expand the 6 wide magenta 1 block forwards. So it's now got a 1 block overhang. In front of this, we are going to place 1 light pink, 1 magenta, 2 light pink, 1 magenta, and 1 light pink. So that is the second block overhang. And then for the final row, we're going to leave 1, and we're then going to place 4 magenta and leave 1 block. So again, that's 1 block gap, 4 magenta, and a 1 block gap. So from below, it looks like this, from above, like this. And that's the underside of the llama's jaw. Now, to build up the sides, we're going to start off with the left side. We're going to start off by grabbing ourselves the light blue. And next to this purple block here, we're going to place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 light blue. And it should link up with the front side right there. We're then going to go diagonal up a row. And we're going to place a second row of light blue, like this. Now don't worry about here, there's going to be some details on the back, which is going to link that all in. Above this second row of light blue, starting on the left side, we're going to place 2 of our middle blues. We're then going to place 1 light blue and 2 pink. The next layer, again from left to right, is going to be 3 of the middle blues and 2 of our light pink. So again, that's 2 light pink. If it will move, please. It's a struggle. There we go. So on top of this, for our final layer now on this side, we're going to place 1 magenta, 1 light pink, 1 magenta, and 2 light pink, and that will link up and it will have something that looks like this, hopefully, if you've done it correctly. We're then going to repeat this on the right side, so if you want to copy it over yourself, more than welcome. I'm going to go for it nonetheless. So on this side, once again, we start off next to the purple. We're going to place a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of our light blue. We then place a second row diagonally upwards from said previous row. On top of the row, just as I quickly fix this, the mess that I've created, on top of this row, we are going to place, from left to right, 2 light pink, 1 light blue. So again, that's 1 light blue, 2 of the middle blues. On top of that, we are going to place 2 light pink, 3 of the middle blues, and then for the final layer, you probably guessed it because it's the exact same as the other side, 2 light pink, 1 magenta, 1 light pink, and 1 magenta. So that is the right side, again exact same as the left. Now, going up to the next stage, so that's essentially the neck. Heading back round to the left side, we're now going to start working on the side of the face. So, we're going to start off at this magenta here, by expanding 1 to the left. We're then going to expand it 2 to the left, using pink, 1 magenta, 1 pink, and 1 magenta. So that is the first layer of the side of the face. For the second layer, we're going to place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 magenta. On top of this, we're going to place 5 magenta. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there should be a 3 block gap. We're then going to grab ourselves the grey, and we're going to place 1 grey block right in that gap there, and that's going to act as part of the jawline. For the next row, from left to right again, we're going to place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 magenta, followed by 1 light pink, followed by 1 magenta. And this is going to make up the upper jaw. So right now, the shape should look like this. The layer on top of this is going to be solid magenta. So we place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 magenta. So again, that is the 5th row. For the 6th row now, we are going to place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 magenta. We are then going to grab ourselves the dark brown, and we're going to place 1 dark brown. For the next layer, we're going to grab ourselves our light pink. We're going to place 2 light pink. I repeat, 2 light pink. We're then going to place 4 magenta, and that is that row complete. And the final row is going to consist of 4 magenta. So once you've done that, it looks something like this. So that is the side of the face. In regards to the detailing, we're going to start off with the strap. So starting at this brown block here, underneath it, as a 3D effect, we're going to place 1. We're then going to go down diagonal once, twice, and 3 times to the left. Make sure each time you are against the wall, or the previous layer, so there's no gap. And then from here, we're going to go up diagonal once, twice, and 3 times to the left. So it ends up looking something like this. In regards to the next step, grab a white block, come to the second block on the left, go up diagonal, and place 1, 2, 3 white blocks, 1 to the right, and then underneath it, in the 2 block gap, we're going to place 2 of the black blocks, and that's going to act as the eye. So it ends up looking something like this. Now that is the left side of the face. Of course, we're going to copy the exact same over for the right side. So once again, I'm going to pause the video, copy it over, and then I will continue once we've got that done. Okay, so as you can see, I've gone ahead and copied that over to the right side. Again, it's the exact same, so just follow the exact same steps and just mirror it onto the right side. So now what we're going to do is start linking it all together. We're going to start with the front side, and then the rear side, and then finish up on the top with the ears. So starting off at the bottom, we are going to grab ourselves first off the white blocks, and directly above the 2 center magenta blocks at the front row, we're going to place 2 of the white blocks, and that's going to act as the teeth. In regards to the upper jaw, we are going to grab ourselves the purple. To the left, or sorry, to the right of the magenta, we're going to place 2 purple, and then on the right side, to the left, we're going to place 2 purple. In between, on the lower row, we're going to place 2 light pink. On the upper row, we're going to place 2 of our magenta, and it ends up looking like this. Now, in this gap here, we're going to grab ourselves the black blocks, and we're going to place 2 rows, 2 rows of 4. So that is 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then above that, we're going to place a second row. If I can do it. That's a big if I can do it. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then what we're going to do is in that 1 block gap there, we're also going to place a black block. So we go around to the rear side, just place on either side so that gap is filled in, and that is going to be the interior of the mouth. So again, it's a 4x2 with 1 block extended back either side. Now in regards to the upper part of the nose / front of the face, we're going to start off here on the left side. we're going to place 1 magenta. Next to that, we're going to place 2 of our light pink. So 1, 2, and then 1 magenta. And then above this, we're going to place a solid row of 4 brown. So again, 4 brown, linking up the strap on the left side and the right side. In front of this, we're going to place 4 magenta. Whoops, and the final one. And then on the next row, we're not going to build here. We're actually going to go up 1. We're going to place 1 magenta, 2 pink, and 1 magenta. And it ends up looking something like this. So again, if you want to pause, please feel free to do so. So that is the front of the face complete. In regards to this top section here, go ahead and just fill it in using solid magenta, and then that leaves us with just the rear side of the head. So I'm going to quickly fill this section in, and then we shall start making some progress with the rear side. So again, just fill this whole section in with our magenta, and then we are good to go. So we will be adding ears here later on, but we'll get to that, as I said, just in a bit. So for now, we're going to work on the rear side of the head, this section here. First, what we're going to do is add the harness strap, almost, I guess is what we're going to refer to it as. So the way we're going to do this is, next to the purple block here, we're going to place a dark brown. Exact same logic on this side. What we're then going to do is we're going to go up a block, and we're going to place a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the dark brown, and in the 2 middle blocks we're going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So again, exact same on the second one, up 9 blocks in total, so match it to the exact same height, and then you'll have this 9 block tall pillar, which on top of, we are going to grab ourselves the slightly lighter brown, so the middle one. We're then going to get the darker one, and we're going to go to the left, and then down diagonal to the left, and we also are going to go to the right, and down diagonal to right, and that will link around to the straps on the side. In regards to the remaining area, we're going to first off start diagonal from this light blue. We're going to place a light blue on each side, and to the left of the light blue we're going to place 2 magenta, exact same on this side. To the right we place 2 magenta. Now to the side of the magenta we are going to place pink, and we're also going to place a pink directly above the magenta block, and once again we repeat this on both sides. And once you've done that, the remaining area is going to be solid magenta. So it's just a case of filling in all the remaining gaps with magenta. There's not too many, so I'll do it on camera, seeing as we're almost at the end of the video anyways. So again, on both sides, just fill in all the gaps with the magenta block, and then that will wrap it up. So that is the rear side of the head, nice and easy, and again, if you want to pause, please feel free to do so. So the final stage of the build, I guess the crown on top of the llama's head, his ears. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off in the back left corner of the head. We're going to build up 1, 2, 3, 4. To the right of this, 1, 2, 3, 4. On the right side, 1. Whoops, that is not 1. Let's try that again. 1, 2. That is definitely not 2. Can we please? 2, 3, 4. There we go. To the left of it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what you now have is 2 4x2 areas. What we're going to do in front of it is we're going to place on the left side 1, 2, 3 magenta, and to the right of it 1, 2, 3 light pink. On the right side 1, 2, 3 light pink, and to the right of it 1, 2, 3 magenta. What we're then going to do is from this magenta here, we are going to bring it forwards. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. And then what we're going to do is we're going to place a 2x2 square on the front side of each ear. So again, a 2x2 square as an additional layer on top of each ear. And once you've done that, that is the ears. And that is, more importantly, the llama complete. So you now have something which looks like this. Again, if you don't, I recommend going back in the video, see if things haven't gone quite to plan. But if you do, again, there's your llama. It's taken an absolute decade. It feels like it's taken forever. I feel like I've gone a little bit insane with the placing blocks. But if you did enjoy it and you did appreciate the video, again, a like is very much appreciated. If you haven't already, definitely consider subscribing with notifications on so you get notified every time I upload, because apparently subscribing isn't enough these days on YouTube. If you don't trust YouTube, frankly, I don't blame you. Follow me on Twitter at GummyBearGames. I tweet out every time I upload. And yeah, again, if you enjoy my content and want to support me in a monetary way, then please use my creator code on the item store in Fortnite, which is Gummy. So GUMMMYYY, 3 M's, 3 Y's, and every time you make a purchase, doesn't cost you anything extra, but I get a small, tiny cut, but of course it adds up quite quickly if quite a lot of you do it, and it enables me to still do YouTube as a job whilst at university. So again, much appreciated, thank you for all the support, as I always say, especially with these longer videos. If you did make it to the end, let me know in the comment section below, and also let me know what you want to see in the future videos. I'm going to be doing a bunch more city builds, modern builds, that kind of good stuff, because it is frankly a lot easier and a lot funner, even though it's not a word, to do than these kind of builds, because these take forever and they're an absolute nightmare when it comes to doing tutorials. But again, if this gets lots of love, I'll have to overcome that issue and do a few more, especially of the skins. A lot of people have been requesting it, so let me know what your favourite skin is. That's a big one, and I might do a few more skin builds. But apart from that, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, my name has been Gummy, and goodbye. Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light